Hey, hello guys, welcome to Knowledge India. In this tutorial, we are going to talk about Elastic File System EFS. We will go ahead create an EFS from scratch into a custom VPC. So a VPC which we have created, we'll go ahead create it there, and after that we will also go ahead and mount it from instances which are there in different availability zones. Yes, that you understood it right. So it's first of all, it is possible to mount an EFS volume to n number of instances, right? So and also they can be there in different availability zones. So we'll see how to do that. In addition to that, I want to repeat one thing again here. If you want a volume at if you want to share one volume with n number of instances, don't use S3, please. S3 is not meant to act as file system, and hence please do not use it in that manner. For that purpose, you have EFS. It is a network file system, and we'll go ahead and see how to use it. It is really easy to set it up. All right, so let us get started. So first of all, our familiar VPC, which is of /26, and it is divided in 4 subnets, 2 are public and 2 are private subnets. Let us quickly look at the route tables for all of them. In the private subnet, you can see that there is no entry to the NAT gateway. That means that totally private, they cannot send any traffic to outside instances. Let's look at both of them. All right, great. In the same way, for the public subnets, they have access to IGW. That means the instances launched in the public subnet would be accessible from outside world. So what we will do is I'll go ahead and launch a bastion host or a jump box, just a small instance in the public subnet, so that I can basically jump there, and then from that machine I would be able to connect to the instances which I'm going to launch in the private subnets, right? And I will be actually mounting my EFS volume to the instances launched in the private subnet. So it is all going to be totally private. Okay. At this time, if you go ahead and check, all the IP addresses are available in our 4 subnets, right? 16 minus 5, 11 are available in all, so nothing has been used anywhere. All right. So first thing, let us go ahead and create an EFS volume. So we'll say create file system. We need to choose the VPC in which we are interested. We are interested in this 6B1. So we'll choose the 6B1, this one. All right, and then it will show up the different availability zones within that, and within every availability zone, the subnets which are available. Now I already told you that I want to mount it in basically the private subnets, right? So I'll go ahead and choose the private ones. Here private is chosen. Here also I'll choose the private. All right. And IP address, if you want, you can give a custom private IP which you want, you can give here. And of course it should be there within this subnet, but you can allocate it. Or else if you don't give, it will go ahead and pick one private IP address from this subnet automatically. All right. So I'm leaving it default, automatic. If you want, you can of course write it as well, or any free IP within your subnet. And then next thing is the security groups. Now the default security group has been chosen, but I don't want to do this. What I will do is I'll go ahead and create few security groups. That's really important. So let us go ahead and do that, and I'll tell you why am I doing this, right? So it basically tells that what security group is will be attached to the to this elastic file system, and whatever you will allow in this security group, only from there traffic can come. So let me do this so that you become more clear. uh, First of all, let me go ahead and create security group for this. All right, so I'll go ahead and create a new security group. So I'll go ahead and call it my EFS SG. uh, yeah, that's right. uh, Okay, and I want to create it in my VPC. Go ahead and say create, and then okay, and this I need to allow inbound traffic on what port for the NFS, because it is a network file system which runs on port 2049. So this is what I'll choose, and from where do I want to allow? For now, I'm just giving this for a reason, and I'll come back and edit this. Here I actually would be giving the security group given to my EC2 instances. So I'll just create that and come back and update it. Okay, so we'll go ahead and create one more. We'll call it EC2 SG and in my VPC. All right, now okay, I'm just going to keep this one simple. What I will actually just let us do one thing. I can go ahead and call it private, and in this I will go ahead and allow port one sec, so that you get it correctly. I'll go ahead and create it as public, and here I'm going to allow uh, a port. We'll just keep a simple Windows machine, or let's do Linux itself. This will be there from anywhere. Okay, we'll save this. So this will be the security group for the public. We'll go ahead and create one more. We'll call it EC2 SG private. Okay, and put it here. Now in this case, let's just create this, and we'll go ahead and say I want to allow port 22 SSH basically from the public ones, right? So I'll save this. Now I'll go ahead and review this for you. So this is the public one. Once I launch an instance in the public subnet, I'll be able to SSH to that instance from anywhere, you can see. Then once I'm there inside the public instance, from there I will log into the private ones, and hence in the private instance security group I have allowed inbound traffic only from the public instance security group, you can see. And then same way, I want to ensure that my EFS should be accepting traffic only from the private instances, and hence I will go ahead and edit this to the private EC2 instances security group, right, which is this one. You can see. Oh, sorry, I just I left the screen. Let me just do this private. All right, we'll save this. All right, we are set. All the three security groups are created. Now I will go ahead and launch instances in the public and private subnet. Okay, in the meanwhile, let me just do this one. So we'll have to uh, like kind of refresh this so that the things come here. Okay, we said that we want to do private, and here instead of this I want to give EFS security group, which I have created, and here also I want to give EFS security group. So guys, with this security group which you are giving to your EFS mount points or this mount targets, you are ensuring that from where all this EFS can receive traffic, right? I mean, or basically which instances can get mounted to it, right? So only the instances which will be, which are allowed to receive, which are allowed, I mean, from where the traffic is allowed to come in these security groups as it is defined, only those things will be, you can make a mount. From anywhere else you try to mount this, it will not work, right? Because I'm not allowing the traffic to come. All right, we'll just say next step. We can give a key value pair or in the terms of tags if you want, and you can go ahead and just say next step, and it will create these two things. I'll just say create file system. All right, it will go ahead and create mount targets in both the availability zones 1B and 1C, and we will have it available. Now next thing we'll do is we will go ahead and quickly launch instances, and then we will do the mounting. All right, so let me go ahead here, and I will say launch instance. All I want to do is quickly go ahead, I'll just choose T2 micro instances, and I'll choose my VPC, and in my VPC, I'll first launch one in the public. All right. Okay, next. Yes, let me call it public, and then because I've created the security group already, I will give the one which is EC2 security group. Let's just check. Yeah, this one, the public one. We'll go ahead and next, and I'll say launch China launch. So our public instance is coming up, right? By the time it comes up, I'll go ahead and I'll launch the private ones as well. Quickly going ahead. I'll choose my VPC. I'll choose the private 1B, okay, private subnet, which is there in the 1B availability zone. We'll go ahead next, next, and I'll just call it private in the B, okay. All right, yeah, and I will choose the security group correctly, this one, okay. Launch instances. I will launch one more private instance in the availability zone C. So let us go ahead and launch this. My VPC. This time I'll choose the private C, and then I'll go ahead. I'm gonna call it PRVC, right? Okay. I'll choose the security group correctly. This one. Okay. Next. Also launch. Select here. Launch instances. All right, so our instances are just coming up. We'll give it 2 minutes, and then once it is up, we'll go ahead and connect inside. All right, guys, as you can see, our EFS is ready. It has all the mount points created. You can see it has taken the some IP addresses as well, the private IP address. And for that, of course, the way it has got us with the creation of a respective ENI in the subnet which you have chosen. So if you go to the ENIs, you will be able to see these ENIs created. If you do not understand what an ENI is, I highly recommend go ahead and watch a tutorial on the channel which explains you completely about ENIs. Also, our instances are up and running. Let's see, this is the public one. For the public, I have logged in already to this machine, right? So I logged in and I'm inside this machine, and I also used p agent in order to forward the key, so that I do not have to let me just duplicate this so that I have two sessions running. And quickly ec2-user. All right, here what I want to do is I will log in from the public instance to the private one. Let me pick the IP of this one, the private machine. Here we go. I'll say yes, and it should go in. In the same way, we'll do here as well. In this case, sorry, the IP is 29. I have checked. Let me show you here. It is 29, right? So we are inside both the machines. Now, next we need to do is we need to go ahead and mount. Currently, if you do df-h, you don't have anything, right? You have only the volumes on this machine. We'll go ahead and mount it now. So go ahead and see these mount instructions. If you click here, this is what you need to do. You need to run these commands quickly. So we'll go ahead and run it on both. And then next is because it is Amazon Linux, it is done. Then we can create any folder wherever we want. So I'm just creating at the location where I am, but you can of course create anywhere you wish to. There is a small problem, guys. As you can see, we are getting the error that it is not able to install these things. The reason is, in order to install these packages, it needs internet access. So I'll go ahead and quickly add a NAT gateway for some time so that it can access the internet, right? And later on we can remove it. In case you are doing it for production purpose, you can install it first in as your image and then make the instance. All right, so I went ahead and created a NAT gateway, right, in this particular VPC, and I have also added the necessary route in the private route tables so that internet bound traffic can go to the NAT gateway. You can see it here, right? So just to summarize where we stand, we have a public instance running in one of the public subnet, we have a NAT gateway running in another public subnet, and then we have private one instance running in both the in both the private subnets. Plus, because we created a mount point or a mount target of EFS in the private subnets, one more IP address is gone. So that's why two IP addresses are gone here and one here. If you see in the form of a diagram, this is how it looks currently, right? So we have got two public subnets and we have two private subnets. In the private subnets, we have one instance. In public subnet, we have one instance in the availability zone B, and we have NAT gateway in the availability zone C, right? So that's why one IP address is used here, and here two are used. That's why you see 9 remaining here. All right. Also, to understand, I have created NAT gateway so that all the packages which need to be installed in these private machines can happen. Later on, we can remove them, not a problem. Plus, the this is the icon for EFS. So the EFS is gonna receive the traffic only from the security group which is attached to these EC2 instances, right? If I try to send traffic from this particular EC2 instance to the EFS, it will not take that, right? So I can show that as well. But now first we will go ahead and we'll try to mount our stuff, right? So let me go here and I'll go ahead and try to mount it. So I'm logged into these machines. Let me copy this and I'll put this run here. Okay, not needed because it is the latest Amazon Linux thing. So on this it says it's installed. Here also it says it is already installed. Next we need to create a folder. I think folder we had created. Let's see. Yeah, it is there already at this location. Let's see in the other machine. Here also it is there. All right, so now next what we are going to do is we are going to mount our volumes to this particular thing, and here is the command for this. In this it gives the basically the full mount uh, the path of the EFS volume, basically the unique ID for that, and then where do I want to mount it. So I'll go ahead and I will run this here, and the same way here. Okay, so now from the first machine, let me get inside this folder. Let me do ls. There's nothing currently available. I'll go ahead and create a file, and I will say hello, this is an EFS test. Okay, we go ahead and enter. We can do a cat of test. We are able to see the content. Now let me go ahead and here just do an ls. Okay, I need to get inside the folder first, then let me do an ls, and I should be able to see the file. If I go ahead and want to see the content, I'm able to see the content as well. So this is good. I've been able to mount this particular volume in two instances, and anything you write, it is available in the other volume as well, right? So okay, now so in this way you understood that how you can go ahead and mount a file system to multiple machines. It is easy to do that. Remember, the way you are restricting, because we also talked that we also said that we'll talk about restriction. The way you are restricting that an EFS file system can be mounted can be mounted to which all EC2 instances is using its security group. So in the security group, if you see, I have not allowed everything. I have allowed traffic only from the security group of the private EC2 instances. So only from there traffic can come here. If I log into the, let me go ahead and try to show you something. So I'll come out, and now I'm basically on the public instance. Right from here, if I try to mount, so I need not run this is there already. Let me create a folder here, and from the public instance I'll try to mount, and let's see if it works. It should not work ideally. So you see, it is not able to hit there, right? Because it will not accept the traffic. So and also it is important to understand that when you mount EBS to an EC2 instance, it is an AWS level operation, right? You can mount it from the management console as well. Here you cannot mount it from the management console or from AWS CLI. Here the mounting is happening at operating system level. Okay, at operating system level you are mounting a volume. This is something very important to understand here. Also, EFS volumes can be mounted to your on-premises servers as well, if you have a direct connect or VPN connection between your on-premises and AWS VPC. So I hope you found this particular video useful. Go ahead and try to explore EFS more and more. Use it in the proper secure manner. As I said, restrict things with security group in the way you want. If you like this video, go ahead and press the thumb icon or like this video. I also request you to share it with your friends so that they also can get benefited. Subscribe to the channel so that you are updated with the new videos. I'm bringing up one more video. There are a lot of announcements related to the channel, so I would request you to follow that. I'm starting a blog. If you just subscribe, you would be aware of every new thing which I put there. In addition to that, we have live sessions on this Saturday and Sunday for 1 hour each, and we are going, or of 1 hour each, and we are going to solve a case study while discussing with you. So I highly recommend you to go ahead and and look at the calendar. You can find the link for my public calendar below in the description. I would request that please go ahead and check that, and surely join the upcoming live session. See you all. Thank you. Bye bye.